Welcome back to Against My Better Judgment podcast, the podcast where two friends,
I'm Tamara Golden,
and I'm Danielle Whiteside, tell the truth, share the lessons, and laugh about the moments that we knew better but did it anyway. Every week we'll share real stories about the times that life surprised us or stretched us or straight up humbled us and what we learned along the way.
And this season we're calling it That Time When. But before we jump into That Time When, how was your week, Danielle?
Oh, it's been fine. My baby was sick.
Not good.
So he had, he's teething and he had a low grade fever, which, he's fine. Low grade fever is normal with babies, all, happens from time to time, but then, his sleep is disrupted. So
now, was he sick or was he teething? Or is teething sick?
So, the pediatricians differ about whether or not teething causes a child to become sick.
Okay.
Some say that it doesn't happen, but I just know for my kids, every time they were teething, they got some sort of germ with it. And I was reading something a few years ago that was like, sometimes it's because they reach for more things to put in their mouth to try to soothe it, and that's how they pick up more germs at the time. So anyway, we here, but we tired.
I'm glad you're here, Danielle.
I'm glad to be here.
Okay. I had a great week. I took a trip with my parents to Seattle, and we've never been to Seattle before. So I have a aunt and I should say great aunt and great uncle. Mind you, these folks are like 20 years younger than my dad. So it's interesting to hear my dad say, "Hey, Unc," and him say, "Hey, nephew." So
you got a baby uncle.
I mean, yeah, you got a granddaddy uncle. But anyway, so we hung out with them, did the Space Needle, the what is the market called? Pikes
Place,
Market,
yep.
Pikes Place Market. Ate some good seafood, and now I do feel like it was one of those vacations that it was fun, but I didn't come back like what I would call rested, if that makes any sense. But it was great to hang out with my folks.
That's good. I mean, I think traveling with your parents as they get older is like a real special treat. So we also went to Seattle for a conference a few weeks ago, and my mom came with me so that I could also take my baby, and we were able to laugh and talk and shop, and it's like you don't always get, like, I see my mom a lot because she is the primary caretaker during the day for my baby. So when I drop him off and I pick him up, it's like, okay, how is he today? Did he sleep? Is he okay? So it's very transactional. And so I really did appreciate just being able to sit with her and talk to her and, with limited distractions. And that's a real treat. So,
well, she did kick it at your birthday.
Girl, I mean, my mama is down for a good time.
She did.
Always.
She did not do boots on the ground, but she did kick it for your birthday. She kept
saying, "I wish you had told me. I would have brought my fan." That's the only reason she didn't get out there. I'm like, that's probably not the only reason, but I'll let you go with that. Next time, bring your fan so funny. We can be on the floor together.
My fan was in the trunk, and I knew that it was I could feel the energy in the room. I saw a lot of people showing up in boots and tassels and hats. I knew it was a matter of time before DJ dropped it, and I could have made it out to get my fan because it was like an hour before. I'm like, when is this, man? You can see these people. They
ready to hear the song.
So, no.
But you could have just done like me. I got a napkin, and I was...
Well, I didn't have a napkin. I was just wanting to be going the right direction because that was my first time doing it in a group.
Oh, okay.
So my goal was to be looking real cool and going the right direction. I didn't want to be facing somebody.
There you go.
So it was
But you did a good job.
Thank you.
Your
thank
boots
you.
were on the ground.
Thank you. So yeah, good week.
Yeah, well, cool. Well, let us get into today's story.
All right.
It's officially called That Time When the Kids Came Over.
Oh my gosh. So this is a good one for me because, as you know, I should like have I might start a separate podcast or something like Auntie, because
Tamara is the expert auntie. She is.
Yeah.
Let me brag on my friend.
brag on me.
Because I have lots of friends. They all like love my kids, but some people like really take it to the next level. And Tamara's one of those where, she'll hit us up and say, hey, I'm having a cookout at my house. And then you come over with the kids and she's gotten extra activities for them. She bought them some books or some bubbles or something. Like, they always, when they come over to her house, they always leave with something. And so I just appreciate that you take the initiative to not just love on me, but also love on my kids, because not everybody does that. So kudos to you.
No, I appreciate it. And, the nice thing with the kids is, because I don't have any kids, it's a fun time. Because one thing with kids, it's really simple. At this age, they're going to remember you based on what you got, what you're doing for me, that's true. Just the reality, because they're not adults yet. But I'm really being aunties to these kids so that, when I'm unable and I need a drink of water, somebody will just bring me a drink of water. So it's really, really fun. But one of the things that I have trouble with sometimes is like, because I don't have kids. Kids are welcome, but like kid etiquette. Like when kids are at your house, what are the expectations of me as the host, and what should I reasonably expect from parents? So, for example, I tend to always have a little something, like even if it's a game, I do have some kids stuff, and sometimes it falls flat, sometimes it's a hit, but I usually at least start with something. But it does kind of amaze me sometimes when parents, especially when they have little kids, or they know that, and they have nothing, like they know their kids are going to get bored with this, and they have nothing to, keep them occupied. When it comes to foods, I always have, like right now, I have organic juice boxes. Like I always have something, but where's the line? And then when is the family asking too much? Like, okay, you have all these allergies and stuff. Like, have you thought about like feeding your kid before they come? Like, like what? Help me understand.
I can only speak for me as a parent.
All right.
Because I know everybody is not that way. When I bring my kids to someone's house, number one, I have a talk with my kids before we get out,
How does that talk go?
Listen, we about to go to Auntie Tamara's house. Don't ask her for all her snacks. If she offers you some snacks, that's fine. But don't be in there begging, okay? And also, listen to her, this, we have a real conversation about like what you are supposed to do. So, and Shannon, my middle son, he does have food allergies. In fact, we encountered that coming to Tamara's house because he has a fish allergy, and she had a fish fry Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it was a Christmas Eve. It's a tradition. I always have a fish fry Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Catfish Christmas.
We've taken him, like one time, knowing that he has a fish allergy. There are varying degrees of fish allergies. Like my husband's uncle has a really bad fish allergy. Like he cannot be around fish. If you touch fish and touch him, he reacts if they're cooking it in some kind of way. So I was trying to test how far my child's allergies went. So like we would go to restaurants where they would cook it. He was okay. One time I took him in a fish market when we were visiting New York City, and we just walked around. I was just looking at him, and he was okay. So when Tamara invited us to the fish fry here, I was like, okay, he's been around it or whatever. And I felt so bad because, number one, Tamara and I don't live very close to each other. We're like 45 minutes, okay?
On a good day.
So, it's Christmas Eve. We're trekking out here in our Christmas pajamas. That was going to be the last thing we did before we went home and bake cookies. And then when we got out here, like she had it laid out. She had games for the kids. She had like so many toys, gifts for them. And so, and her parents, I love her parents, and her dad was in here doing his thing, frying up that fish. It was, and it was smelling so good. And Shannon was sitting at the island near where the fish was being cooked. And then probably maybe 15 minutes in, he just kept saying, "Mommy, my eyes are hurting." And then I just looked at him, and then his eyes just kept getting like more swollen. And I was like, oh, we got to go.
Yeah. And poor Andre, after he has drugged the stroller up, and I like if you come from the front of my house, they're like probably 15 steps. He done drugged the stroller up, the bags, the 15 bags that y'all come with, all the kids that made into the house. Andre's oblivious to Shannon itching in. This man has sat down in his grown man pajamas and has a plate
ready to eat.
She is sitting here with her holding babies and a bag, and he's sitting like, what's going on here?
Yeah. I'm like out the door at this point, and he's still like, I'm gonna eat my food.
Well,
so.
I think our next test with that is because it was too cold to cook the fish outside, but I'm wondering almost if the fish is already done, like maybe an hour before the event, and that allows the fumes and all the oil to kind of clear out a little bit.
I like I said, I don't think he's that. I think it's just it was being cooked, and the vapors do enter the atmosphere, and so and he was very close to where it was being cooked. So we'll figure it out next time. But the point I should make about that is we left. It wasn't like we were like, so stop cooking the fish.
Yeah, you would have probably got
also
that day.
Can you? Also, do you have alternative? Like we had the issue, so we had to leave.
That was bad.
Yeah, but
I felt bad too, because it didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah, I mean, and you live and you learn, and we're, like I said, we're testing out the boundaries here. But when your kids come over to someone's house, they have to be respectful. Like, there is a fundamental difference between my way of doing things and your way. Like, at home, I let my kids jump on the couch.
Kids cannot jump on the couch. I looked up one day. This was like last summer, I think. I looked up one day, and Donovan was about to jump off the ottoman. He was standing straight up on the ottoman. I didn't mind him standing on it. If I would have caught him getting up to the stance, I would have said, get off that ottoman.
Now, was this at your house or mine?
This is at my house. And he's about to jump from the ottoman to the couch. And I said, Donovan, do not jump. And he looked at me, and he was still about to. I said, Donovan, do not jump. And I thought that little joker was about to jump.
I'm surprised he didn't.
Something triggered, and he knew that I was serious, and he got down. But, and I guess I still will ask another question is, kind of, as you know, my house isn't necessarily kid friendly. I mean, I have sharp edges. Like, what is even the expectation when I don't really change anything? Like, as you know, I'm very regimented. Everything has a place, but you can live in it. Like, you can do anything on any table. I don't want anything destroyed, but you can do that.
Like, they can color or eat or whatever.
They can color, they can eat, they can, like, for tomorrow, I'll probably bring in a kid's table because, I don't know what kids like to be outside. It'll be a pretty day, but again, I'll probably bring in a kid's table. But the point is, am I supposed to tell the kids, like, don't do that? Or are the parents supposed to? Like, I don't like to, but after I wait 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, I'm going to say something. But really, who has liberty there?
I think it depends on the relationship. Like, I'm okay. I was totally okay with you telling Donovan, do not jump, because I also want them to know that the rules at my house and the rules of someone else's house can be different, and that's okay. You have to learn how to mold your behavior depending on where you go. That is a life skill. So if Auntie Tamara doesn't let you jump on her furniture, you better not jump on the furniture at Auntie Tamara's house. At my mom's house, at grandma's house, they don't jump on the furniture. She's not about that. At home, you can do that.
Well, unless Andre's at home.
I was about to say, because my husband does not like for them to jump on the furniture. I'm just like, the couch is already, I'm not getting new furniture until my children are in their teen years and are no longer doing that, because that couch has seen way better days. So I don't mind, because I'm like, this couch is gonna get beat up or whatever, and at some point we'll buy new furniture. But they're at home, and I want them to feel relaxed in their, at home in their environment. But when you get to someone's house and like I'm okay with you correcting them because I know that you love them and you are in relationship and in community. I don't worry about you putting them in harm. If we were at, like, there were times when I was growing up that my mom would take us to like an elderly woman's house and sit and talk. And so in that stance, we knew you were to sit right there. Don't move. Don't ask for nothing. Like, be quiet. Don't even, they might ask us a question here or there. What are you doing in school? I'm fine. I'm singing. And that's it. And so I'm okay with that, know. And I've never been in an instance where I thought someone incorrectly spoke to my children. I just
But would you address it? My expectation would be like, okay, because I can be just in life, and I'm very consistent at work and personal. I can be very direct. And that's something that I'm working on, just to soften the blow. Like, some of the things I say can be 4 words because that's all it takes to get out what I need to get out. But I would expect something like probably not directly in that moment in front of the kids, but like, oh, Tamara, just so you know, he did that because we do that at home. Like, if I were if I were out of bounds, like, I'd like to know, like, before it festers, like, okay, you're out of bounds here and this is why, or this is how we, you can figure out a way to finesse it.
Yeah.
But I would definitely expect that. Okay.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever have that issue, but like, we did end up talking one day about jumping on the couch. I think so. Yeah. That's how that's how we know the difference between styles.
Where you can jump on the couch. But I even had an instance where I'd corrected one set of friends' kids about an event. Like, they were doing something and I corrected it. Then, or maybe, no. They were doing something and their parent corrected it. So I didn't have to correct it. Then my other set of friends' kids went and did the same thing.
And they didn't say nothing.
He didn't correct it. I did. And then I could hear him saying, well, you didn't say anything to them. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, well, because their parents did. Yeah. I didn't have to. So I'm very cognizant, and I try to pay attention to balance and fairness. I don't like, kids are cute in their own right, but I do my best not to say things like, oh, so-and-so's cute, without somehow making sure I say everybody's cute, because a lot of the kids look differently. They, some of my nephews have braids. Some of them have a lot of hair. Some of them don't have any hair. Some of them have curly hair. Some of them are light complected. Some of them are dark complected. And I do try to make sure, because the other guests there may not notice what they're doing, but they may inappropriately or unbeknownst to them favor some kids over the other and not think anything about it. So I do try to pay attention with guest interaction and that kind of stuff.
And I mean, first of all, I think the fact that you were even cognizant of that just illustrates how great of a person that you are and how much you do care about your kids, your friends' children, which is amazing. I will also say that, like, there are certain things that I say to my kids that I am so tired of repeating myself. I'm like, if I tell my child, don't throw something a million times, like, I am so tired of saying that. Or if I say, you have to be kind, you need to speak kind words. Like, there are certain things that I have to repeat all the time. Sometimes when you are in a space where someone else sees it too, and they are able to speak to your child, your child hears it differently, because it's not just your mom being a broken record. It's like, oh, Auntie Tamara also said that. So then it must be some truth to it. So I would appreciate then, like if there's a behavior that I've continuously called out in my kids and then you call it out, I appreciate that sometimes. Like, oh, thank you. You reinforce a message that I've been trying to send. So, it is a delicate balance. And I know one thing, people are very sensitive about their children.
Yeah.
So it can be a tricky dance,
Yeah.
And another thing that I struggle with, and I don't know whether, because sometimes I do this and sometimes I don't. When your kid gets a birthday invitation, I got a tribe coming with me. Like I have, so if my oldest son gets a birthday invitation to like the trampoline park, there've been sometimes where I've just made the assumption that my second son can come too because they're a similar age, and typically like at one point they were both going to the same school. And so, even though they were in different grades, like, that Shannon is his little brother. And so the invitation is the invitation to both of the kids or just one. Now I've said, hey, is it okay if Shannon comes too, or do I have to pay for him to do the activity separately? But I've had instances where people have made the assumption and I may have not planned for extra numbers or, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, I would have been happy to have an extra pass for your child if you had just told me in advance that the extra children were coming.
And see, I guess outside looking in with no kids, my thought is twofold. First off, if you ask me, I think, first off, call me. I think you can never go wrong with calling.
Yeah.
But also the me in me also makes it almost feel like it has to be yes. But like, so it's kind of like I guess it's me. I prefer some type of preface of, hey, this is just a question, yes or no, and either way works with me. Because I think the other flip side with me is if I have a Donovan, Shannon, and now Ronan, my thought is when can they have their own individual fun with their own friends? And so I guess my thought is it's kind of like being in a new relationship and all of a sudden that person is your only friend, and then you incorporate friends. Well, you know what? After we've been together so long, I want to go do something with my friends, and I'm cool with you doing something with your friends. So I do tend to think about brothers that are close in age of, hey, this is my day, and learning the lesson of, okay, today is Donovan's day, and when it's my day, it's my day. So
I think the biggest takeaway for me is when you bring your kids to someone's house, make sure they know the rules of that house and that the expectation is that they're going to follow the rules of that house, even if the rules may be different. And they need to learn that different rules apply at different places.
Yeah. You want to know another thing that I just thought about, in that I think it's also helpful when as kids get to know you and other folks, that you just go over, what they call that person.
Oh, yeah.
For example, I have kids that call me Auntie Tammy, Auntie Tamara, TT Tammy. And when you have these kids all together, they're all calling you different things, which is fine. So I think just for their sake, so that they can know what to call the person. And even I have some neighbors where, of course, I'm just Miss Tamara. But every once in a while, if I hear Tamara once, it definitely makes my ears perk up. But if I hear the kid say Tamara again and ask a question, I'll usually say like, that's Miss Tamara. But how do you feel about that?
It's a respect thing. I mean, when I grew up, it was like you call somebody Mrs. So-and-so, it's yes ma'am, no ma'am, or whatever their salutation is, there's something in front of that. Yeah. Almost everybody that is closely acquainted to me, I tell my children, call them Auntie so-and-so or TT so-and-so.
And that takes place of the Miss or Mister. But every once in a while, I'll hear kids like just say Tamara. And so a lot of times, in fairness, a lot of times their parents will correct them. But if I hear it twice, I'll just say, it's Miss Tamara, you know, and I'll just change that. So I think those are great tips. And that's the nice thing. The more that you get, and the other thing is once you get to know kids, they get to know you also.
For sure.
And they know They know when
They
they're
know the
just
buttons
testing
you
you or
can
not.
push and-
Yeah. But I also say, as a host, don't have kids to your house if you can't have kids in your house. I mean, you have to know and be reasonable with, okay, kids are kids. Things are going to get spilled. That's the biggest thing, I think. Things are going to get spilled. They're going to get upset at some point. If your kids are, it's usually 2-hour segments, 3, however long. The kid is going to get upset at some point. The kid may be in a phase of being potty trained. Like if you're hosting, also you need to do your homework and know who you're hosting and understand like this, like if you're going through a potty training phase and you refuse to put pull-ups on your kid while they're going through that potty training phase, then it's for me, I'm not going to invite you to my house. Now, if you're going through a potty training phase and you're also putting pull-ups on your kids, I can get that. But there's certain things that I'm like, I don't want pee soaking into my.
If we're in a potty training phase, we're probably not visiting people's homes because we're not doing pull-ups. Mm-hmm. So we got to make sure we can comfortably have accidents and it be okay. So again, it's just, your child and what circumstances your child needs to operate. If you one of those parents where they actually have to have a nap at 1:00, don't bring your children over to someone's house at 1:15 and think you're going to have a peaceful experience. That's just not.
Or don't bring your kids after they've been to not one but 2 birthday parties.
And they hyped up and ready to go.
You did that.
I did?
Yes.
When?
We had a cookout. I had a cookout and they had been to 2 parties.
Oh my God.
In the same day. And I was your third party. Those kids were out OOC. Out of control. I mean, out of control. But we made it.
I mean, and thankfully, a friend that understands this, if you want me to show up.
And I did.
We gonna have to show up when we can. And this is what we got today. So, it's all about giving grace.
Yep. Absolutely. So now it's time for my favorite segment of Against My Better Judgment. Danelle, what did you do, say, feel, hear that was against your better judgment?
Okay, so today I want to talk about reality stars running for public office. Okay?
Like Donald Trump running for president?
I mean, he's the poster child for it.
Arnold Schwarzenegger running for governor?
He's also case in point. But
Ronald Reagan running for president?
Oh, I forgot about Ronald.
Yeah, I guess it's not reality TV with Ronald. It wasn't a reality.
Yeah, and so is Arnold too. He wasn't reality.
Yeah, that's true. So, like I said, Donald Trump running for president?
But we ain't talking about him. We're talking about Dr. Heavenly Kimes. You don't know her, do you?
The Married to Medicine woman.
Yes, yes. So she just announced she's running for state representative in Georgia. And I don't know how I feel about it. I have like 2 sides of my brain here that are weighing, pros and cons. The first is Dr. Heavenly.
Is that her real name?
It is Heavenly.
Oh, wow. I mean, you better be careful.
And Dr. Heavenly has a mouth on her that is not heavenly at all. Ooh. I mean, she's quick to say, yo, mama.
Oh, you still better be careful. Her last name is Heavenly.
I'm not talking bad about her. I'm just speaking facts.
I'm just scooting over a little bit.
So, there's that. But also, she's very brilliant. I mean, she's a dentist, Meharry trained. She and her husband met at Meharry.
Burgundy and cream.
Yep. And then she's had very successful practices in the Atlanta area, and she is an entrepreneur in other spaces. So, but I was watching her being interviewed yesterday by Carlos King, who is a TV producer, and she was saying that Quad, who is also a cast member on the show, was her QUAD.
Okay.
Who actually is a Tennessee State grad. She's our campaign manager.
I would have zero concerns with having you as my campaign manager.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Quad does not have the, if you're serious about this,
Okay.
get a for real, and
Right.
she was saying like she has a team and, she's done her research, but it's like also like, if you're gonna do this, like get a for real team. Like let's not make this a reality run.
Okay, I was about to say, is this for TV?
But I hope not. Like, because
There's
I
too much money in it.
It is like, and I legitimately think she could do a good job, but also like, know your platform.
Wait. As in she's running against Warnock or Ossoff?
No, those are senators.
Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, hold up.
No, she's running for state representative in their
State.
federal.
Okay, I'm with you.
But it's still like, I just don't know about. Here's the thing about politics where we are right now. The norms are, we just going down a backward slide in terms of like how serious people are taking politics. And
which is why this may be her time.
Maybe. And I think that to her point. And so it's just like, against my better judgment, I think I'm just going to reserve my judgment for now. I'm just going to reserve my judgment for now and just see how this plays out. Because I actually do think she could do a good job.
Based on what?
I think she's passionate. I think she cares about people. She's, aside from what you see on TV, she's intelligent. She cares about people. She volunteers in the community. But I also need you to know your platform and the data. Like,
she didn't know her platform in the interview?
In the interview, it was very vague. It was very much like, I want police reform. I'm about education. I'm about healthcare. And it's like, okay, but how many of your constituents rely on Medicare? How many, know the data, and then let's not have your cast member as your campaign manager.
Now, I think to that, like, so the cast member is the campaign manager, and I think the hurdle that anyone who's in reality TV, when you're looking for more of an adult job, a real job, like not real as though, but I'm saying more of a, let's just be specific to this. When you're going back into politics, I think you have to be ready to clear that hurdle for credibility and to validate your standing. You have to be able to say, yeah, this is me in Married to Medicine. And this is me on this campaign trail, and they are different, and this is why. And I don't think that it's unfair. I don't think it's unfair for you have to explain your way out of this reality TV world, but being very clear that, hey, that's for entertainment. This is for your survival. This is for my constituents. This is for you. So the things you hear and say for entertainment are going to be different right now. Yeah. And I think that's your hurdle with the cast member being the campaign manager, because you have some sort of bias against that, when this woman could also be brilliant and qualified in her own right. So
I think to your point, come out the gate, this is a different Heavenly that you're seeing. Yes. This is not the Your Mama Heavenly. This is not the, I love Daddy. That's what she calls her husband. That's, this is serious Heavenly, who's very well researched. Here's why I'm doing this. I'm very clear-eyed. Like, I think she's gonna have to come out the gate being a different, being the same person, but a different, in a different light.
And I mean, Georgia's gonna have to tell her. I mean,
and they will.
Georgia's going to have to tell her, and they're going to have to make it very clear as to what they can accept. And she's going to have to recognize that what has worked for other reality TV stars to get elected, she's going to have to do something totally different. And she's going to have to recognize that the process and the rules are different. But Georgia will definitely show her and teach her. I mean, I think she'd have a lot of credibility if she could get like Stacey Abrams in Georgia or Keisha Lansbottom in Georgia, which I saw. Is she about to run for governor?
Which one? Keisha? I think I did see that.
Because, she's going to have to get someone that she's going to have to get their buy-in. I don't know Dr. Heavenly, but those two women, they carry a lot of weight, and I'm sure they don't just endorse just anybody. So
yeah. Well, that's it. And here's your general reminder. Teach your kids the rules of the different houses.
Yeah.
The rules of the different roles that you play. Teach yourself. So there might be a you with your girlfriends, and that's different from you in your workplace. And sometimes the lines blur a little bit, but you need to make it clear. I'm still showing up serious. I mean business on both spectrums.
No, I think, and I don't have anything to say. I think all of that is well put and well said. And just know, if you're going to be the hostess with the mostest, and you want to earn that title, do your homework also, and make sure that it goes both ways. So.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back next week with more stories, more laughs, and hopefully a little wisdom tucked in there too.
Yeah, be sure to follow our show on Instagram at Against My Better Judgment Pod, and on Facebook at Against My Better Judgment Pod, as well as you can also email us, right, at againstmybetterjudgmentpod@gmail.com.
Listen, we're so glad you're here. Until next time, hold your peace, mind your house etiquette, make sure your kids are on their best behavior, and maybe if you don't want to see the Reality Stars campaign ads, just turn your TV off.
Deuces.
Bye.